The Willow Wife by Japanese Folktales. Brought to you by TellStory.net, stories from around the world. In a quiet village, there lived a young man who had lost his wife. Every evening, he would walk to the great willow tree by the stream to find peace. The ancient tree's graceful branches swept down to touch the flowing water, creating a peaceful shelter. One spring evening, the young man found a beautiful woman sitting beneath the willow. Her hair was long and silvery green, and her kimono was the color of fresh willow leaves. When she looked up at him, her eyes held a strange, gentle sadness.
Please forgive me if I am intruding. I often come here in the evenings.
You are welcome here. I too know this place well.
They talked as the sun set, and the young man felt his lonely heart beginning to heal. Before he left, he asked if she would be there again.
Yes, I will be here.
From that day forward, they met beneath the willow tree. The woman seemed to understand the language of trees and flowers, and she spoke of the seasons with deep wisdom. The young man fell in love with her, though he sensed there was something mysterious about her nature. One evening, he asked her to become his wife. Tears filled her eyes.
I would like that very much. But you must promise me something. When the time comes for me to leave, and that time will come, you must let me go. Can you promise this?
Though her words troubled him, the young man agreed.
I promise.
They were married beneath the willow tree when autumn came, with only the wind and water as witnesses. The branches swayed gently, as if the tree itself was blessing their union. The young man brought his bride to his home, and they lived happily together. His garden flourished under her care, growing more beautiful than anyone had ever seen. But the neighbors whispered about the strange woman who ate little and seemed never to age. Sometimes the young man would find his wife standing at the window, gazing toward the great willow tree with such longing in her eyes that it made his heart ache. As winter approached, she grew pale and quiet. One night, she took his hands and told him the truth.
I am not human. I am the spirit of the willow tree. For a little while, I was able to take human form and know what it means to love and be loved. But now winter comes, and I must return to the tree, or I will fade away completely.
The young man held her tightly.
No. There must be a way for you to stay.
My dear husband, you promised to let me go when the time came. Remember, I will always be with you in the willow tree by the stream.
On the last night, they walked together to the great willow. Snow was beginning to fall, and the tree's bare branches reached up to the dark sky. As dawn came, the woman grew more and more transparent, like mist touched by the rising sun. The young man held her until he could hold her no more, and then she was gone, returned to the ancient tree where she belonged. Every day after that, the young man visited the willow tree. He would sit beneath its branches and talk to it as if talking to his wife. In spring, when green buds appeared, his heart lifted with joy. In summer, when the leaves were full and green, he sometimes glimpsed her face in the patterns of light and shadow, or heard her voice in the rustling leaves. Years passed, and the young man grew old. When his time came to leave the world, he made his way one last time to the willow tree. As he lay down beneath its sheltering branches, he saw her again, as beautiful as the day they met, and she reached out her hand to him with a gentle smile.